Okay, let's talk about Cleantech. It's one of those terms you hear everywhere, but what does it actually mean? Well, today, we're going to cut right through the noise. We'll follow the money, meet the key players, and look at the real innovations that are turning this buzzword into a blueprint for our future. Let's dive in.
All right, so you've definitely seen these words thrown around: clean tech, green tech, climate tech. A lot of times people use them like they're the same thing, and honestly, it gets pretty confusing. So, what's the difference really? And what's the actual story here?
You know, the easiest way to think about this is with a simple analogy. Think of green tech as this huge umbrella. It covers pretty much anything that helps the environment and promotes sustainability. We're talking solar panels, recycling, electric cars, the whole shebang. Clean tech, on the other hand, is a bit more focused. It's all about cleaning up our existing industrial world. Think making factories more efficient or reducing pollution from systems we already rely on.
And then, to get even more specific, there's climate tech. This is a slice of clean tech that has a laser-sharp mission: fighting climate change head-on. This is where you find things like giant battery farms to store renewable energy, or even tech that can literally suck carbon out of the atmosphere. So, just to run that back, green tech is the big picture, clean tech is the industrial tune-up, and climate tech is the specialized toolkit for tackling climate change.
Okay, so now that we've got the lingo straight, what's the end game here? What's the point of all this tech? Well, it all points toward one really powerful idea: sustainable development. And this is way bigger than just being green. It's a whole new blueprint for how we live. And this quote right here, this is pretty much the gold standard definition of sustainability. It sounds simple, but it's incredibly profound. It's all about finding that balance, making sure that the way we live today doesn't shortchange the folks who come after us.
And this image, well, it shows that balance perfectly. Real sustainability is like a three-legged stool. You need the economic leg. Solutions have to actually make financial sense. You need the environmental leg. Obviously, we got to protect the planet. And so importantly, you need the social leg, making sure things are fair and equitable for everyone. The key thing to get here is that if you take away any one of those legs, the whole thing just collapses.
And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. Clean tech is the how. It's the toolkit we're using to achieve huge real-world objectives, like the United Nations global goals. We're talking about things like clean water for everyone, affordable and clean energy, and building cities that can last. Clean tech provides the practical tools to make that balanced future a reality.
Of course, big ideas need big money. And the financial story of clean tech, wow, it has been a total roller coaster. We're talking epic booms, a pretty painful bust, and now a really powerful comeback. So let's rewind to that first big boom. Back in 2008, the hype was just incredible. Venture capital firms poured a then-record $8.4 billion into clean tech. The excitement was absolutely off the charts. But then the bubble popped. And this quote from MIT is a huge reality check. Between 2006 and 2011, about half of the $25 billion that VCs invested just vanished. It was a disaster. Why? Well, it turns out you can't fund a massive decade-long hardware project the same way you fund a software startup. The money and the timelines just didn't match up.
But that was not the end of the story. Not even close. The comeback has been massive. To give you a sense of the scale, just look at China. Between 2019 and 2022, its climate tech sector pulled in over 350 billion RMB in private funding. This isn't the hype from 2008. This is serious, strategic money flowing into a much more mature industry.
So where are all these new ideas coming from? Well, if you follow the patents, you get a pretty clear picture. As you can see, Europe is leading the charge, with Japan and the US right there in the mix. This gives us a great map of where the foundational research and development is happening.
Now, patents are one thing, but where is the action really happening? Where are these ideas being turned into actual companies and products? Let's take a quick world tour of the biggest innovation hotspots. Okay, no big surprise seeing Silicon Valley at number 1. But what's really interesting is the rest of the list. Tel Aviv at number 2, then Stockholm, London. It really shows you that this is a truly global movement. Great ideas in this space are coming from everywhere. Let's zoom in on a couple of these. Israel is a fascinating example because for them, innovation was born out of pure necessity. They were facing serious water scarcity, so they invented modern drip irrigation way back in 1965. By the 70s, they were already making solar water heaters mandatory. This long history has turned them into a clean tech powerhouse.
Then you've got a totally different approach with Germany, which is all about government policy driving change. Their Energiewende, or energy transition, is one of the most ambitious national projects on the planet. I mean, an 80% renewable energy goal by 2050 is a huge undertaking, and they're betting big on things like offshore wind to make it happen.
And you absolutely cannot talk about this space without talking about China. You can think of them as the implementation superpower. While other places are inventing and patenting, China is building and deploying at a scale that is just mind-boggling. They dominate the global supply of solar panels, EVs, and batteries, which makes them completely essential to this entire story.
So after all that, where does this leave us? We've gone from buzzwords and a market crash to a mature global industry. And because of that, the whole conversation has shifted. The question is no longer if a business should adopt clean tech, but how it can be used as a core strategic advantage. And for any business out there, this is the bottom line. This isn't just about feeling good or putting out a nice annual report anymore. This is about real competitive advantages. Using clean tech can slash your operating costs. It makes you look good to customers and investors. It helps you stay ahead of new rules and regulations. And maybe most importantly, it's a huge driver of innovation that can open up brand new markets.
And that brings us to the final question to think about. We've seen this technology completely reshape massive industries: energy, transportation, manufacturing. It's moved from a niche idea to a global economic force. So the real question now isn't if it will change things, it's what's next. Which part of our daily lives is about to get a complete clean tech makeover?